Yes, good morning everyone. Today we begin a important discussion on Chapter 5, Civil Law and Property Rights. You know what guys, civil law is not just a field of study. This civil law, uh, it's the foundation of how individuals, families, and businesses interact with society. It governs the relationships and transactions we engage in every day, from family obligations to property ownership and contracts. Now, you might be asking, guys, why is it important to understand civil law? Well, merely because, guys, it is quite significant to understand civil law because this equips us with the knowledge to protect our rights, fulfill our obligations, and resolve whatever conflicts in a lawful and fair manner. Just like when we are buying a piece of land, entering a marriage, or signing a lease, no, or kanang nangabang, no. Civil law is at work behind the scenes. Okay? Now, civil law class governs again private rights and obligations of individuals, families, and institutions. In our country, it encompasses the following. We have the persons, family, property, obligations, and contracts. Ensuring legal harmony in relationships and transactions, guys. This is, of course, beneficial to to the citizens. Okay. So unlike in criminal law, the previous discussion that we had, it deals with offenses against society. Whereas this civil law addresses personal rights and duties of every individual. Okay? For example, there are two neighbors disagreeing over a tree whose branches cross into one property. Okay? So, again, nay usa ka kahoy, dayon ang iyang sanga ni cross na sa property sa laing tao. Now, the question, the roots belong to another, no? So ang iyahang ugat, example, nabilong kang Mr. A, pero ang iyang sanga tuaman ni gawas sa property ni Mr. B. So, civil law class, this ensures that dispute like this, like the one that I have just given, is resolved through legal principles rather than personal confrontation nga magpasakitay, you know, resorting to unlawful means. Okay? We must not, you know, take or put the law in our hands because we have the justice system. Now, class, another example. There's a contract between a customer and a service provider, no? Such as a mobile phone company. Now, civil law ensures that customer receives the agreed upon services and that the provider is paid for their work. So without civil law, such transactions would lack structure and fairness. Okay? So the two examples that I have given, class, this shows how civil law quietly shapes our lives. Civil law provides stability and predictability in personal and business transactions. So as I mentioned minutes ago, that there are these categories of civil law. And to reiterate, we have the persons, number two, family, number three, property, number four, obligations, then number five, contracts. So, for persons and family law class, this encompasses the following: the rules on birth, citizenship, domicile, and civil registry. Okay? Now for, you know, uh, these persons class, it emphasizes or it establishes when a person can act independently, no? So such as entering into contracts or nagmanage of property, no? For example, minor person has limited capacity to act, but they gain full legal capacity because when they reach the age of majority, which is 18 in our country class. Okay? So for this family, marriage, annulment, divorce, parental authority, and adoption. So family law class, it focuses on obviously relationships within families, no? So it governs the ones that I mentioned. And this law, this family law protects the welfare of the family members and ensures that everyone fulfills their respective obligations. Example class, imagine a minor who inherits a house from parents, no? Namana niya ang balay. Since that person is still a minor, obviously, he doesn't have the capacity to manage the property. That's why a legal guardian has to be appointed to act on behalf of that minor person. Okay? So, another instance is in the event of nagbuwag ba ron ang couple class, the court ensures that the children's rights are protected by deciding custody and financial support. Okay? So in the Philippines, it is the court that determines as to who between the husband and the wife would be the in charge of the children's custody. And again, the factors are basically, the capacity to provide the needs of the kids. Okay, so family law class is especially significant, no, because it is enshrined in our constitution. Since the constitution recognizes the family as the basic social unit, it emphasizes the mutual obligations of family members, no, the duty of the parents to support their children, and the children's duty to respect and care for their parents. Now, the provisions of family law class are further supplemented by the civil code, no? Now, class, let's talk about the property law in the Philippines. So, property law governs ownership and rights over assets. It distinguishes between real property, like land, buildings, and other immovable assets, and personal property, like movable objects. So, in our country, property rights are protected by the Constitution, by the 1987 Constitution and the Civil Code. So, real property class includes land and anything attached to it, such as houses, trees, and all others. So the law ensures that ownership is clearly documented, often through titles, no, kana certificate of titles, to prevent disputes. And take note, tax declarations for the lot, for the structure or building, are not conclusive evidences for ownership. It has to be a title class. Okay? So, meanwhile, personal property, it includes movable objects, no, like furniture, vehicles, and even, yeah, intellectual property. So, take this one. Take this example class. If a person buys a house, they must register the sale with the Land Registration Authority to secure legal ownership. Actually, it takes a lot of processes, no? Kanang palitag property, yuta man or kaning house and lot, no? It goes to the following agencies: the BIR, no, the Bureau of Internal Revenue, the Assessor's Office, the Registry of Deeds, and so on. It has it involves a lot of processes. Okay? So example number 2, class, if a vehicle is purchased, the new owner must transfer the registration to their name, ensuring that their ownership is recognized under the law. So there are also provisions governing the transfer of personal property, class. But of course, there has to be a deed of sale. No, it has to begin with a deed of sale or deed of absolute sale. Now, Philippine laws, class, limit land ownership to Filipino citizens only. However, foreign nationals may lease or own structures on it. Okay? This restriction ensures that our country's natural resources remain under the control of Filipinos. That's the purpose of that. So for obligations and contracts, class, this law of obligations and contracts is fundamental in regulating agreements and responsibilities. Let's break this down into parts, no? The obligations and contracts. So obligations refer to legal duty to do or not to do something, and they can arise from agreements, laws, or certain actions or omissions. You have already known what omission is, no? So for example, obligations arising from a contract, like delivering goods as promised in sales or agreement. Nipalit baron ka og napo ka kilo nga bayabas, no? So, ni bayad ka sa GCash kay layo ang supplier, no? Seller sa bayabas. So, you have already paid. Therein, obligation arises for the seller to really deliver the goods, no, the bayabas. Or dito mo layo kaning sa Shopee, sa Lazada and all others, no? Naiuban nga cash on delivery, but there are also some items that need to be paid in advance. Okay? So, therein obligations again come up. So, obligations created by law, such as when parents responsibility to support their children. So, obligasyon na sa ginikanan. Because that is, again, mandated by the civil law, particularly under the obligations and contracts. And also, it is written in the family code. So, obligations, class, are classified into two. No, duha categories ang obligations. Una, pure obligations. This refers to those obligations that impose no conditions. For instance, when you owe money, that's immediately payable. So, og nangutang kag kwarta, it has to be paid. Okay? The second category of obligation is conditional, meaning dependent on a future event. Example, when a seller promising to transfer the ownership if the buyer pays within 30 days, no? So nakabantay mo, there is a condition that has to happen in order for the seller to transfer the ownership. Okay? The buyer has to pay the amount within 30 days. So, that is a conditional obligation because there's a certain condition which in our example is that the buyer has to pay within 30 days. Okay? So that the owner will transfer the ownership. So, if the incident would not meet the time frame that the buyer has to pay within 30 days, so the seller has the authority not to transfer the ownership, of course. Okay? Now for the contracts. Contracts are legally binding agreements between two or more parties. No, for the contract to be valid, the contract must meet three essential requirements. Okay? What are the three essential requirements of contract? We have the consent, the object, and the cause. So consent, class, both parties, both uh, persons must freely agree to the terms, whatever the terms being crafted. So for uh, the object, object is the subject of the contract. and the object must be lawful, possible, and specific. Now, for the cause, there must be a reason or consideration behind the agreement. Okay? Example, a landlord and tenant enter into a lease agreement, meaning nag-abang, no? Nag-abang si Mr. A sa property ni Mr. B. So, Mr. A, the tenant, is obligated to pay the abang, the rent, no? While the landlord is likewise obligated to provide a safe, habitable place that Mr. A, the tenant, has rented. So that is an example of uh, contracts, no? So contracts also class include remedies for breach, meaning kanang wa ka motuman sa kontrata. For instance, if a seller fails to deliver the goods, the buyer can demand specific performance, compensation, or contract termination. So these are almost always the remedies provided in a contract. Without these remedies, agreements would not be unenforceable. Okay? Again, without these remedies written in the contract, agreements would not be enforceable. So, okay class. So, property rights and land ownership. Property rights defined how individuals and entities can use, own, and transfer a property. Well, in our country, property ownership is heavily influenced by the constitutional provisions of the 1987 Constitution, and there are also special laws class that deal with it. But please take note, I would like to reiterate that there are two categories of property only. First is the real property. This includes land and anything permanently attached to it, such as buildings or trees. Okay? So, owning a house means you also owned the land. The next one is personal property. So, personal property refers to movable items like vehicles, furniture, and intellectual property. So, intellectual property, like when you have created a book, a instructional material, or anything that is a product of your mind. So, that is a personal property. Now, there are these key principles of land ownership in the Philippines. So, ownership by Filipinos, take note once again, I mentioned this earlier in the video that only Filipino citizens and corporations with at least 60% Filipino ownership can own a land. Again, only Filipino citizens. If not Filipino citizens, corporations are allowable also to have ownership provided that that corporation has at least 60% Filipino ownership. Okay? So this ensures that land remains under Filipino control. Now, the second key principle is about the agrarian reform, wherein it ensures equitable land distribution. So, agrarian reform class, this refers to the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, or CARP, wherein it redistributes agricultural lands to landless farmers. Okay? So, this promotes equitable, once again, equitable use of land and ownership. Just like the Lomads, no? The indigenous people who have been residing in such parcel of land for several years. When CARP, no, the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, was enacted during the time of Cory Aquino, so this granted, I mean, this special law has granted the indigenous people, Lomads, and other landless farmers to own land class. Okay? Now, there are modes of acquiring property. There are four modes of acquiring property class. No? First is purchase. So, kana mo palit ka. Ownership is transferred when a buyer pays the agreed price. That's purchase. Inheritance, meaning the property is passed on from a deceased family member, no, namatay, then this is oftentimes governed by succession laws. Then the next one is donation. So donation class refers to voluntary transfer of property. Okay? Like ihatag nimo ang imong property, ihatag nimo imong house and lot or ang imong lot, no? That is donation. Then number 4 is adverse possession, meaning prescription class. No, ownership is granted if someone occupies that land openly. No, meaning a private property, a private lot is occupied by a person for 20 years or more. So that property can be subject to adverse possession. Possibly maiyahan na, provided again that the property is not titled. Because adverse possession class is a legal method of acquiring ownership of a property through possession. Okay? And this adverse possession class has 5 elements. Namely, possession must be actual, meaning the possessor, katong nagpuyo gino sa property, yuta man or house and lot, must physically occupy or use the property. Okay? So it could be for nagtukod siya balay, farming the land, or iya lang gikoralan. Now, possession must be open and notorious. What does it mean? Well, the possession must be visible to others, nakita sa kadaghanan sa publiko, demonstrating that the possessor, no, katong nagstay, nagpuyo sa maong property, is treating indeed as if the property iyaha gyud, no, iyang napakita. Now, number 3, possession must be continuous and uninterrupted, meaning the occupation or ang iyang pagpuyo must not be sporadic, meaning it must continue without any interruption class. Okay? So number 4, possession must be exclusive. This underscores that the possessor must have sole possession of the property. Wala ni siya gi-share sa laing tao or gigamit with kanang the true owner, no, sa maong property. Katong ang owner baron maoy na ay tax declaration sa maong property. Wala sila mag-share class. Okay? That's number 4. Possession must be exclusive. And the last element is possession must be adverse to the real owner. This means that the possessor must occupy the property without the permission of the true owner sa maong yuta. Okay? Through that way, na-assert ang ownership, no, against the real owner. And that is number 5. Possession must be adverse to the real owner class. So, example, Juan starts planting crops and building a small hut, no, naa sa gamayng payag, on a vacant piece of land that is untitled and privately owned. Bot pasabot class, walay titulo ang maong yuta, but it is owned by somebody. Maybe a tax declaration of that parcel of land. Now, the true owner of that land is Maria. Knows about it, no, kay bawo siya nga gipuy-an ni Juan. But Maria does not stop Juan, nor does Maria take any action to reclaim the property. As a result, Juan continues living the lot, no, that parcel of land of Maria openly and without an interruption for more than 30 years. I stand corrected because I was mentioning minutes ago that it is 20 years, but 30 years, no, without a just title or good faith class. So, in that example, adverse possession is applicable. Okay? Because after 30 years of continuous, open, exclusive, and adverse possession, Juan can claim ownership of the land through extraordinary prescription, which is the lapse of 30 years. No? It is allowed under Philippine property law. So, again, take note, the land is not titled, then the land is under Juan's possession, no? Uh, Juan is using the land openly, exclusively, applying the five elements, continuously, and without Maria's consent. And Maria, as the true owner, did not assert her rights or interrupt Juan's possession for the required legal period, which in this case is 30 years, because this is an extraordinary prescription. No? An example of adverse possession. And please be reminded, class, no, please be reminded that privately owned or titled property is not allowed under Torrent system, meaning ownership of these properties cannot be acquired through adverse possession. Okay? What can only be acquired through adverse possession are the following. No? It must be untitled private property. So it could be ordinary prescription or extraordinary prescription. So for ordinary prescription, class, take note, the possessor is with good faith and just title. Okay? So when we say good faith, it refers to the possessor must believe they have or he has a legitimate claim to the property, no? Such as based on a defective or invalid title. Okay? And this just title, class, means a document or basis of ownership that appears valid but may have legal defects. Sama pananglitan if the uh, sale agreement, no, or katong deed of absolute sale is executed by a non-owner. Okay? That is just title. So case like that, it only or the law only requires 10 years of continuous possession so that the possessor can acquire the untitled property through adverse possession. Now, for extraordinary prescription, the example that I had given to you about Juan and Maria, class, it is classified as extraordinary prescription. It means without good faith or without just title, for the period of 30 years of continuous possession, the possessor can acquire the property via adverse possession through extraordinary prescription, class. Let's talk about legal issues in family law, class. So family law governs the relationships, rights, and responsibilities within a family. This ensures that these relationships are legally defined and protected. So in our country, family law encompasses marriage, annulment, child custody, adoption, and more. Uh, Take note, class, that this marriage is a legal and social contract, no? Requiring strict compliance with laws to ensure its validity. And what are the requirements of marriage? Class, these are the requirements. Legal capacity, no? Meaning, both parties must be at least 18 years old. If either party is below 21, parental consent is required. Okay? So, panalitan, pa doon ka mapakasal and the other, I mean, the woman or the man whom you are about to walk down the aisle with uh, has the age of 20 or 19, though he or she passes the requirement of must be at least 18 years old, but since that in that case he or she is below 21, it needs a parental consent. Kinahanglan og consent sa iyang parents. So, neither party, no, another form of legal capacity, neither party can be married to someone else. But pasabot, di siya minyo, no? So, makita na siya sa class ang record sa Philippine Statistics Authority if minyo ka or dili, no? That's why you're gonna be asked to submit the SINOMAR, no? SINOMAR means Certificate of No Marriage. Now let's talk about the second requirement for marriage, consent. I have not written it here, but I'll just tell you. So consent, both individuals must, no, take note of the word must, willingly agree to marry, and both of them are free from any coercion, any threat, or any fraud. No, wa sila ilara, wa sila hadluka, o wa sila pug sa class. So for formalities, the couple must secure a marriage license, no, except in some cases like uh, indigenous or religious marriages wherein they are granted by civil code the the formality because it is part of their cultural practice, no? But for usual situations, the couple must secure a marriage license. So, the ceremony must be officiated by a duly authorized individual. So, who is this duly authorized individual? No, it could be a judge, kanang moingon sila gikasal ka sa civil, meaning gikasal ka sa judge, no, a mayor kana class. Or if it is a wedding in the church, so it's gonna be presided over by a priest, no, a pari, a minister, a pastor, unya na-analysin siya. And another thing, this ceremony must be witnessed by at least two people. Mao nang naay duha, at least duha ka witnesses of your ceremony. Example, Juan and Maria decided to marry in their hometown. They applied for a marriage license and were married by their local mayor class in a ceremony witnessed by their families. So pwede na siya. The requirements for marriage are all met. If a couple marries without a license, such as under indigenous customs, the marriage may still be recognized as legal valid if it follows their community's tradition, no, sa kaning indigenous group. Now, let's talk about the annulment. The Philippines does not recognize divorce, no, except for Muslims under specific laws, no, in Sharia law. But alternative legal remedies exist, class, and these remedies are annulment and legal separation. Okay? So when we say annulment, it declares a marriage invalid from the beginning. Okay? And the common grounds being raised for annulment cases, class, in the Philippines are psychological incapacity. It is a kind of condition making one spouse unable to perform essential marital obligations. And the other one is through fraud or force, no, meaning gipugos pagpakasal or giilad siya maong nakasal, no. So these are the common grounds nga makafile og annulment ang usa ka Filipino. Okay? And again, if somebody's annulment prospers, class, ni file og example si si Mrs. A ni file siya og annulment case, no, sa court, unya the court has granted, no, ni prosper ang annulment case, then take note of this, that when annulment case prospers, it is as if no marriage exists, as if wala makasal si Mrs. A o si Mr. A. And by that, they can marry, no? Pwede sila magpakasal kay ever since wa man sila makasal, because the marriage has been dissolved from the beginning through the declaration of the court, of a competent court, that the marriage is annulled. Okay? Now, legal separation is different thing, because legal separation allows spouse only to live apart and divide the property, but it does not dissolve the marriage bond. Meaning, the effect of marriage, that both of them are legally tied, is still present, and they cannot remarry. Otherwise, they could be charged for bigamy. Okay? They can only be allowable to divide the property, but legal separation does not once again dissolve the marriage bond. Okay? So, oftentimes, the grounds of legal separation are abuse, kanang no, physical, psychological, emotional, mental abuses, or infidelity, meaning na kay na third party, or imong gi-abandon ang obligation nimo as a wife, as a husband. Okay? So, example, Maria sought an annulment after discovering her husband deceived her about a prior marriage. So, making their union uh, legally invalid. Kay naa may fraud, di ba? Giilad man siya. Na deceit class. So, another example, Ana and Pedro, due to irreconcilable differences, both pasabot, di sila magasinabot, so they have opted for legal separation, and they both agreed to property division, and they also established the terms for child custody. Okay? So, child custody class, uh, this is a, you know, decision prioritize the best interest of the child, no? Ensuring that the child's physical, emotional, and psychological well-being are being upheld. So take note, children under 7 years old, custody of the kid typically goes to the mother unless the mother is deemed unfit due to issues like neglect, abuse, no, and other identified incapacity. Now, shared parental responsibility. Even if parents are separated, no, through legal separation, both remain obligated to provide support and guidance for the child. Examples, after separating, Anna was granted custody of um, her 4-year-old nga anak na babae, no? So, Juan, the father, was given regular visitation rights to maintain Juan's relationship with his child, no? Though Maria and Juan are legally separated already. So, if both parents panalitan lang are deemed unfit, but pasabot di masaligan o sila may muhandol sa bata, custody may be granted to a close relative or a guardian as chosen by the court. Okay? Now, adoption class is a legal process that establishes a parent-child relationship between individuals who are actually not biologically related. And the key points of this adoption, it there's a need for a court approval. Di ka basta-basta maka-adopt class. No, the court approval, it ensures the child's best interests, including financial stability, emotional support, and a nurturing environment. No, that is to be determined by the court and approved by the court. So equal rights. Adopted children receive the same rights as the biological children, and it includes as well, class, the inheritance. Okay. Now the number 3 key point here is that the adoption must be compliant with the existing laws. No, for international adoptions, Philippine laws and the Hague Adoption Convention apply, no? Kaning sa I mean the Hague Adoption Convention. is applicable. So examples, a childless couple adopted an orphan, Maria providing her with a loving home, securing her the same inheritance rights as their biological child, no? Pwede siya, uso po na ang mag-adopt class for those childless couples, provided that the adoption has undergone the legal processes. Now, another example, naabari usa ka OFW nga ni adopt, no? Adopted her niece to bring her to the United States for greener pastures, for better educational opportunities class. Then the OFW must follow all Philippine and US adoption laws to complete the process legally. Okay? So, to sum this all up class, take note that civil law is more than just legal jargon, no? It is a framework that affects our everyday lives. Whether it is a property ownership, family obligations, or contractual agreements, civil law ensures fairness, justice, and harmony in society class. Because, civil law governs private relationships and transactions, providing a structure for resolving disputes. We have tackled that already. So, property rights and land ownership are protected by the said law, balancing private and public interests. And lastly, this family law safeguards the welfare of the family members, particularly in sensitive matters like custody and adoption. So class, thank you so much for your attention, and I hope this discussion inspires you to appreciate the importance of the civil law in our daily lives. Okay? Goodbye, everyone.